What is up, nerds? Welcome back to episode 58 of the PP Podcast. We are making enemies with the tapered shape, but we're here to make amends. All jokes aside, actually, we had quite a few awesome responses. Some paddle owners, gave their thoughts, especially those who use tapered shape. But all good stuff. It was a very constructive comment section, and we're just going to touch on a couple clarifications that, obviously, when you make these, it's hard to put every single thing in there. So we'll make a couple clarifications for you guys, and then we're going to jump into some paddles, some new accessories from Flickweight, a couple bags, and some shoes and shoe accessories. Then we'll just jump into our main segments. But, man, I forgot to say, I'm your host, Lewis.
I know, you skipped the whole thing.
From Pickleball, etc. How you doing, Pickleball wife?
We're mixing it up today.
Yeah,
I thought I was just gonna let you do the table of contents, and then I was gonna do the introductions.
I rocked it.
58 episodes in, why don't we just change it? You know,
who cares, dude? Yeah, why not? Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Good. But how you been, man?
Good, dude. Good. We're about to go PP across the country tomorrow. You're flying to NYC. I'm flying to LA.
We're just going to be on opposite
ends. I would love to say
ends.
it was for some kind of Pickleball Pursuit promotional tour that we get to go tour the U.S., but
yeah,
we're doing something or things more fun than that, actually.
Yes, so, actually, yeah.
But,
sure.
Yeah, man. Good.
All right.
Good. How about yourself?
I've been good, man.
How about you?
I'm trying to recover from this little back tweak that I got about a week and a half ago, and it was bothering me. I feel like Chris Olsen. The first thing I did whenever I hurt my back, I immediately texted Chris. I was like, hey, send me all those exercises you do. But I was jacked up for about 3 or 4 days. I took a whole entire week off and played on Sunday. Tested a bunch of paddles on Sunday and was
lower
paying
back
for it. Yeah, lower back, kind of mainly on one side. So it's annoying. It hurts to like bend down and lift up. I think it's a lot of correlated, imbalances.
Gluteus
maybe.
minimus, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Gluteus minimus.
My gluteus
before we dive in,
maximus, but they are not clearly as maximal as they could be. But
not like Chris's. But before you dive in, let me say something on that point, just in case anybody else is doing like lower back pickleball pain, because I also had like a little tightness, just like always, after I played pickleball, and I learned this like warm-up, we'll call it like a dynamic warm-up from Chris, and we talked about it, and for a lot of people, it's a gluteus minimus issue, which is the one on the side. It's kind of like a hip muscle. It's not your big glutes anyway, and if you don't warm those up and honestly strengthen them, then you overcompensate with other muscles, can end up with back pain. All that said is, look, I'll show you what I have. I do this before every time I play, and I stole this from Chris. I'm reaching in my bag here off screen, but I have this little ADV strap. This is like part of their training kit. They have a little training kit you can buy with a bunch of stuff. But anyways, this one specifically is small and pretty strong. And I put this basically on my knees and then on either one of my knees and then do shuffle steps, like strafing left to right. I'll get to the courts early and start at one end and shuffle all the way to the other and then shuffle all the way back. Slow and intentional while squatted down, kind of in a ready stance. And dude, you can totally feel it like activating the outside of your legs and your glutes and your hips. And it's just like a really good warm up. Like I said, I got this from Chris, and now I've been doing this before I play every time. It's part of my little warm up, and my lower back pain is gone. So, and that's the only thing I've changed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I've been trying to
you need to
implement
incorporate
all kinds of different correlated movements, a lot of glute activated movements, and also I've been doing like kind of like side leg raises to work out that gluteus minimus muscle that you were just talking about. So just to give anybody some insight, mine started out with just like tightness for a couple of sessions in a row, and then I went and played singles, and I like kind of felt a twinge. That was my first mistake, playing singles, practicing for MLP. But I felt like a twinge in my back, and I was like, oh, that's not good. Kept playing on because we were very close to finish, and I was like, it's my back's probably jacked up, so, no big deal. It's kind of like one of those things, when you hurt your back, it's almost like if you keep moving, you just delay the onset, and you probably make it a little bit worse, obviously. But I just delayed the onset of like super painful moment, and then it was hurting pretty bad for a couple days. So we're getting better, but yeah, trying to work it out. I took the last 2 days off just to completely rest it, and then I think next couple of days I'll just be doing lots of walking and while traveling. So we'll see how it goes. Keep you guys updated. Nothing that's going to stop me from being able to get out there and test, but for a long period of time, obviously. So we're going to talk about some paddles. First one we're going to jump into is the new Thrive Fury Elongated. They came out with the Thrive Fury hybrid shape. What was it, like a month and a half ago, right? Something wrong with that? But
yeah, somewhere like that. Not too far ago.
They're $180 after code pursuit. These are Yola style cores, but I'll let Justin kind of dive into that a little bit because he has some interesting insight. They're a little bit different than how the Yolas are constructed, but very similar in that respect. You know, the propulsion or the horseshoe additional EVA foam channel that enhances this paddle's dwell, power, pop. And I will say I was very, very pleasantly surprised with the hybrid shape, but the elongated shape, for whatever reason, man, I'll talk about this later, but I put this up against every elongated shape paddle, and this one kind of like rose to the top as my preferred paddle. So $180 is a Gen 3. They're calling it Gen 3.5. It's a elongated and hybrid shape. Comes in a CFC face layup. So that's carbon fiber. Fiberglass is the middle layer, and then another top layer of carbon fiber. And these paddles are gritty, dude. They're some of the more gritty paddles that I've ever felt. Not quite as crazy as an Avatar new, or I would put this right there with the Bread and Butter Loco, which is a very gritty paddle, and somehow passes USAP, which is crazy. So good to know, because I personally think they need to be a little bit more lenient on grit. I just think it goes so fast that it's okay to have a little extra grit. Really, after like a week of play, it's substantially different, you know. But anyway, nonetheless, these paddles are very good, very powerful, very poppy, but I would kind of describe these as an upgrade on the Yola Pro 4 in virtually every way. The face feels better across the entire face. There's no like dead zone or just total change in how much power comes off the paddle when you miss the top third. It's excuse me. Sound like Braden. They are very, very predictable compared to the Yola Pro 4s. These are not going to be control-oriented, but they are easy to control after a little while. The predictability that you get off the face is much more in line with, you know, the Bread and Butter Locos or the J2 NFs. It's not as insane and jumpy as the Yola Pro 4s. So really like these paddles. Glad that they come in two shapes now. I'd love to see them implement a standard shape, but if they're going to do two, I think the two best shapes are the hybrid and the elongated, especially if you make like a slightly shorter hybrid shape like 11624 does. I think it's a good option. So really good paddles. They're 15.5 millimeters, but you know, as Justin, you've said in the past, that doesn't really. It could be virtually the same. The Yola Pro 4 could also be 15.5. It's almost.
So I got
identical.
a couple questions I want to ask you because I don't have these. Yeah, and just real quick on the 15.5 thing, it's a marketing choice for them to say that. A lot of 16 millimeter paddles these days are 15.5 to 15.8 millimeters total if you really measure them with the calipers face to face. They just choose to market them as choose to market them as 16 because it's more clear. In the same way that a lot of 13s are 12.7 but marketed as 13. Yeah, it's just like a rounding thing because fractions of a millimeter aren't really that different. I'm sure they choose to market as 15.5 as a differentiator. You know, now it's a tech spec that people talk about being different, but is it really different? It's up for debate. So you said that it is less jumpy than the Pro 4, but that has fiberglass and the Pro 4 doesn't.
Correct, yeah.
So just
Right.
clarifying that.
I'm
And then
I'm
next
almost
thing,
certain the Yola Pro 4 is just carbon fiber. I don't think there's any
yeah,
fiberglass layers in there.
no, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that the Pro 4 feels jumpier to you.
Yeah, so basically the Pro 4, for whatever reason, I've said this in the past, but that top third of the paddle is just crazy unpredictable for me. It's just like so exponential or logarithmic. It's very hard to dial in that paddle. And then as soon as you go below that top third, the change in, I guess, how much pace is coming off the paddle is drastic. Like, it is a huge drop off. However, the Thrive Fury, the C45, and there's one J2 FC Plus, all use the same kind of diving board foam, and they're all so much more predictable across the face. Not 100% sure why that is, but it's a pretty stark difference.
I have an idea why. So this is what I don't have these paddles, by the way, but I have seen the X-ray, and this is what I told you that you were alluding to that no one's really talking about. I'll use this paddle as a demonstration. So there is an outer seam that we all know of. It's a carbon fiber tube with expanding foam. That's what we see in thermoformed paddles, right? That carbon fiber tube acts as like a stiffer frame because it's carbon fiber and it gets cured. Well, in the Yola Pro 4s, down in this throat area, you have this kind of bump of that yellow foam, which is really high density and a bit different than any of the other, I'm just going to say, copies that we've seen. You know, I get that people may be iterating small things, changing the face layout, but just for the sake of this conversation, let's call anything that came out after the Yola and uses the exact same foam layout, including the bottom part, a copy, so you can expand that to multiple brands. But I'm not talking about the ethics of that, just for this conversation of the construction. Well, what Yola's done, and I haven't seen any copy do yet, is the little seam that wraps around the foam comes down, and then it goes interior of this yellow foam, and then down through the handle. And then on the exterior, on this part right here, the very outer edge, there is no composite seam. It's just the yellow foam, and then they put a piece of like kind of firm tape over it, and then the edge guard goes over that. And that's it. So if you were to peel the face off of a Yola paddle, you would see the sort of frame of it follow a line that would essentially follow like the paddle has like a 7-inch handle or something, and then it juts out, really sharply to the corner. Whereas the Thrive and the other copies, they still have this outer edge seam that runs around the outside, and also sometimes an additional one that runs around the inside of the bottom yellow foam. The difference this makes in playability is, first off, if you have two separate pieces of carbon fiber tube here, you're going to add a ton of stiffness in this area. Versus the Yolas, they're going to have a lot more flex through the throat and the bottom part of the face because, there is, it's essentially following the line, like I said, as if it was a 7-inch handle elongated with a much smaller face. So two things happen. You get a ton more flex down here at the throat. And then the second thing is, the actual face, is smaller than it appears in a way because it's adhered to this frame that comes in and cuts off this bottom throat section. So even though it looks this big on the outside, you're getting more of like what, like I said, a 7-inch handle elongated face size would be. So that's probably why the bottom of the Yolas can feel pretty harsh and dead because it's almost as if you're hitting closer to the throat than you think you really are. But at the same time, they gain a little bit of throat flex, so it changes the overall characteristic of the play. None of the other brands have done that yet. They all run it around the outermost edge, and that adds overall stiffness to the paddle, less throat flex, but usually more energy return in the lower half, so like a more consistent response across the face, like Lewis was saying. And I haven't seen anybody use the exact same foam that Yola's using, their yellow foam. What do they call it? TFP, Tech Flex Power Foam?
Yeah, Tech Flex Power. Yeah.
Well, they definitely, did a good job sourcing that and not releasing that secret because we have seen a lot of brands try to build a very similar paddle, and all of them have different, probably not as ideal foam in that location. So that was the little insight on the construction that you were talking about.
Yeah. So very good insight. That's interesting to know. That makes a lot of sense now that you explain it. I did not know that was the the key difference between those. It's very apparent too. Like it is just a stark.
Check the X-rays.
Yeah.
If you guys are curious, you can go search them up and then look at the X-ray of something like the Thrive Fury and then the Yola Pro 4, and look specifically at that, carbon fiber tube in the throat area and where it runs, like I said, higher up. And that was they call it Tech Flex Power. That was part of their design. They said from the beginning, before anyone ever even played with the paddles, that they wanted to add more throat flex. So they did that on purpose. So kudos to them. Clearly, people, including Ben Johns, prefer that feel. So that's why they did it. And no one else has either been able to or chosen to do it the same way as them.
Yeah. A couple more things on the Thrive. As I said, they're 180 after code. The Elongated is currently on pre-order right now. I think it releases the 22nd of October, if I'm not mistaken, which is a few days from now. The hybrid shape is already available. Really great thing about Thrive is they allow you to choose your swing weight, which is awesome. The Elongated ranges from 115 to 119, I believe, and then the hybrid shape, I believe, is 113 to 115 or 114, but it's somewhere in those ranges. But very good standard ranges, actually pretty low swing weights for the Elongated, which is nice. So really, really enjoy these. These were honestly some of the surprises of the year. I really liked the way that they played, especially the Elongated. So we'll move on. Another paddle that's coming out, I haven't really hit with much, which is the Friday Fever 102W, or their Widebody. This is a $99 paddle. So Gen 3, I think they changed the construction. I heard somebody say that they changed the construction of this with the Elongated. I can't remember if that's 100% true, but you can.
It is true.
But
they posted about it. There's an extra layer of rubberized foam, they're calling it, essentially in the same little horseshoe layout. It's supposed to be more dampening and widen the sweet spot. That's their idea behind it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Haven't hit with this very much, but just want to let you guys know this does drop Friday. Kind of a short shape. It's like 15.8 by 7.9 is the exact measurements. I measure it right before this. So a little short and missing just a 0.3 total inches, which, as we know, every 0.1 inch matters, dude. So nonetheless, I'm sure this will play very forgiving, quite a bit softer than what you would expect from most Gen 3 paddles. It's not going to be as propulsive or powerful and poppy as the Thrives, the Yolas, or the C45. So just keep that in mind. But I'll try to get to this and test it out more and give you some actual in-depth thoughts. But feel free to go watch anybody else's video, use their code, because I have not been able to put very much time into this. So just want to let you guys know. So I also did a top 5 paddles of October 2025. So these are my top picks for what I think are the best paddles currently available. So I went. If you guys want to watch that, you can watch the detailed review. But I'll give my top 5, and then Justin, if you want to, you give me your. What do you think your top 5 or top 3? What are your favorite 3 that have come out? If you want to, but you don't have to. We're not going to pressure you into this, man. No peer pressure. So number 5 was the Thrive Fury Elongated. Number 4 was the Canon, which is right here, from Luz. And then number 3 was the Vatic V-Sol Pro, which is, I thought I had it. Anyway, we'll just show the V-Core Power as a replacement. But number 2 is where we get to the really super high performing paddles.
I was surprised to see your number 2 and 1 weren't in that order.
Number 2,
honestly.
J2NF, or just the NF series in its entirety. These paddles are the most well-rounded paddles on the list, in my opinion, by a pretty clear margin. But number 1 goes to the Bread and Butter Loco. I think the Bread and Butter Loco is just the pinnacle of performance while also balancing, having a very, very, very well balanced playability. The boomstick has more power, but it is way harder to control. The Flick F1, more power, slightly more spin, but way more challenging to control. This is just as powerful as it possibly can get while still remaining controllable, not control oriented. The NF is going to be the one I will recommend for anybody who wants good power, but just elite, all around performance. So those were my top 5 paddles. Anything that surprised you, or omissions that you were expecting, or thoughts? What do you got, man?
Well, yeah. Question: when you say top 5 October, do you mean released in October or as of this date? These are the top 5 available.
As of this date, right now. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of recency bias, obviously.
Yeah, of course. People asked you, hey, where's the Quanta? You said Quanta and VSOL are somewhat interchangeable, but the VSOL has a better feel. So the VSOL makes a list and the Quanta kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
And then I haven't played with the Canon or the Thrive Fury, so can't comment on those. I'm shocked you put the Loco above the NF.
Yeah.
After everything you just said about the NF being the most well-rounded. And then, dude, I'm just going to say it because it's expected of me, but I think the FC Plus just totally flies under the radar. It's crazy. I honestly, the NF gets so much attention, and it is really good, and it deserves it, that I think that the FC Plus is just so under the radar, and I get why you can't just like put both of them on the top 5, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like you put the NF, and you'd be like, asterisk, if you want something a little softer, choose the FC Plus, but it's like in the same slot.
Yeah. That's kind of my thought process between the NF and the Loco. I feel like they're so similar. It's just one's dialed up with power and a slight bit less of control. Not slight bit, a decent amount less control. Yeah. And then one's dialed down a decent amount of power, but way more, controllability. So I feel like in today's meta, everybody wants the elite power. And in the current meta of paddles, I would say that's probably the best overall performance if you prioritize power. Still,
I'm gonna keep saying it, but I never need to hit harder than the FC Plus can hit. Ever in pickleball. If anything, I need to hit. I've been thinking about going the other direction. So I don't know. I tried the NF again, by the way, because everyone loves it and hypes it, and I even played it for a while, and I was like, let me just pull out the NF and the FC Plus. They're both. I love the shape, so I tried them side by side again, and immediately I was like, no. FC Plus feels way better. It's easier to use. It feels better, and I feel like it has the same top end power. So
I played obviously with the J6 NF and J6 FC Plus, and definitely preferred still the NF. I just, for whatever reason, I like the more feedback that it gives you. The FC Plus to me just felt a little too soft feeling, which is some people are gonna really love. So it's
hey, look, I know I sound like a shill. Everyone's gonna say,
oh yeah, you're a huge shill.
Just to clarify, I'm very technically not a shill. I don't have any affiliate codes. I don't make any money off paddle sales.
Yeah.
So I'm just a fanboy, actually, I guess is the more appropriate term.
Definitely a fanboy.
So,
which is totally fine. All right. Well, that's really all we got for top 5 or just paddle talk.
Paddles in general.
You want to bring anything else to the table before we move on?
Not for paddles. So we can go to paddle accessories.
Flickweight. We got a shipment from them last week. We did not have enough time to talk about these, but we got some accessories in here. Justin, you want to run over what we got in here, man, or you want me to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Go ahead, big guy.
So stuff that they already had was the actual Flickweights themselves, which you can kind of see they have like their traditional black version, but they also got some bright colored versions here.
Yep.
Which I think are pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
They have like little signature look on them.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then so those have been there, and let me just say about these, we know that there are competitors in the market. I don't know for certain, but I feel like Flickweight was the first to do this. And
I think they were the first to do the coins.
Them the best. Yeah, exactly. So now you have other brands doing the sticky coins, but I don't even use them that much. I really, it has to be a very specific paddle to use them. But I got to say that I like the Flickweights the best. They are the thinnest. Like if you compare the same weight, like a 9-gram coin across the different brands that do it, Flickweights are significantly thinner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just less bulky, less sticking out on your paddle, and then I think they look good. The black and white one's real subtle, and then they have the colors.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so now to the new stuff. There's this the Reflex line. This is pretty interesting. First, they got these Reflex bands, which are different weights of the bands, the rubber bands that go around the top of your grip. And these are interesting. It's kind of crazy, actually, when you pick one up, how heavy it feels, because you're so used to these being 1 gram, the silicone band.
Little tiny bands, which I take off every single paddle.
I also take them off every single paddle. I don't like to feel that under my left hand whenever I'm hitting a two-handed backhand. So this isn't really a product for me, but if you want a simple handle weighting thing that you can change on the fly, experiment with, and looks good, and you are already one of those silicone band users and you don't take it off, this is perfect. And there's different weights, and they come in this little package here. There are 3, 6, and 9 gram, okay? And then here is the next product, which I think is pretty innovative. They call this the Reflex end cap covers, or, you know, if Travis Rettenmeyer's podcast, they called them butt rubbers.
Pinky up.
So anyway, these, I'll show you. I brought this paddle, and what you would do is take off the grip, and then you stretch it over the butt cap like that, get it all flat,
A little
and
paddle
then
rubber.
yeah, and then it's on here like an end cap, and then you wrap your grip around it, little butt rubber, and you can change it. So 9, 15, and 22 grams, which 22 grams is, you know, basically almost equivalent to an ounce in a way, because once you add in the weight of the stock butt cap. You can't hold it in. Have you seen the segment on the Bad Calls podcast?
No, that's so good.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. They also fell into hysterics. They couldn't keep it up. And anyways, Flickweight's cool, by the way. These guys are cool, because I asked him about it, and I was like, I saw that segment where you was that cool that you guys got that little press that way, and he sent back a cracking up laughing face and said butt rubbers, and then anyway, so that's what they are. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that Bad Calls podcast with Travis Rettenmeyer, it was a couple weeks ago. They talked about these products. And I'm pretty sure that's Flickweight is a sponsor of their podcast. But yeah, that's an innovative way to have something that's removable, because a big complaint with like the slice caps or the actual replaceable butt caps is you got to do a little bit of paddle surgery to do it, and not everybody wants to do that. And also, what if you want to try out multiple weights? It's like kind of a pain in the butt. You know what I mean?
In the butt cap,
So
buy butt rubbers.
Anyway, that's that. And these, it's just like they're filling out their ecosystem really well. You can get little sticky wipes, they call them. It's just like alcohol wipes, but to make sure that the flick coins or the flick weights, sorry, not coins, stick on there and everything. So yeah, it's cool to see some innovation. I've kind of moved away from handle weighting personally. So I don't know that I'll use them, but I know some people who really like it. So I'm going to kind of take these and be like, yo, try this out. Tell me what you think. And then maybe I'll get back to you guys with their thoughts.
Yeah, a lot of people who like, headlight feeling elongated paddles use, either flick weights or slice caps or some, other form, either lead tape just in the handle. There's lots of ways to do it. But in my opinion, I'd probably say that these are the easiest and the most sleek on the market. So code Pursuit, I think, saves you either 10 or 15% on flick weight. So if you want to pick some of these up, worth a try. I don't think they're not very expensive. I think almost everything's under like $25, $30. So it's not a huge investment.
I don't see the price, but yeah, they've always been very reasonable with their prices. So,
all right. Well, you want to move on to some bags now, man?
Yeah, you want to go first or me?
You go first.
All right. So I got the new ADV Flex backpack, and for those of you who have been like following my bag journey, I've actually been using the ADV Backpack V2 for like a long time. Basically, since soon after it was available, it's been my main, and I've tried other bags, and it's been by far my favorite. So this new Flex backpack is a smaller, more like daily use backpack. And dude, it's just designed so well. I'll go through some of the cool parts about it. This isn't like revolutionary to have a main paddle sleeve on the outside, but this one it's just implemented so well, right? They have these stretchy portions on the side here. So your main paddle goes in here, and then it's magnetic. And they even thought about like where the magnets are placed, because when you put it in here, the magnets are like here and here on either side of the handle. So it's actually held in there quite strong. Look, pick up the whole bag, which this is a full bag, just by this part. But you can put other stuff besides a paddle in there since it's so stretchy. You know, this actually stretches out. You could easily fit clothes or whatever in there, and you're not damaging the bag in any way. The other cool thing, and I think probably the namesake for Flex, is underneath here, you can see it's dirty. I've been sitting on the ground, but this is a very flat, like rough material. There's a little zipper here, and then you get this very stretchy piece of fabric that pops out of this zipper and comes up here and clips on. And now you have an extra kind of cargo area that is outside. The ideal use for this is shoes. You can easily fit shoes in here up to like size min 14. And look, it's like amazing. Super stretchy, and it like allows them to air out. So that's nice. Things I appreciate, ADV across the board with all three of their bags has always done like the best quick access pockets. Like in here, there are multiple different organization parts, and it actually opens up significantly. So your bag's sitting on the ground, you just like unzip this, and it's very easy to see where your phone and things like that are. Other than that, smart things they do, there's a dedicated laptop sleeve, and like a good travel or work bag, this has a false bottom. Meaning when you put your laptop in here, it actually stops the laptop like 1.5 inches or 2 inches above the bottom of the bag. So that means if your laptop's in here and you drop this on the ground, your laptop isn't just banging the ground. It's actually held up by the false bottom. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty smart. And this year I've been traveling a lot, specifically with my pickleball bag. And it's been really helpful. Like the Pickleball Backpack V2 is barely small enough to be a carry-on, but it's pretty bulky for a carry-on. But it has like a similar laptop sleeve that I use. Another thing they put on here is this little strap is actually a luggage strap. Of course, you can grab your bag by it, but this is for when you have your luggage to roll, and then the handle comes up, the telescoping handle. You just put this in here, and then it sets right on top of your luggage. It's super convenient. I use it on the other bag all the time. And then, you know, there's a handle on the side that has become a must for me. Now, when I get other backpacks and they don't have a handle on the side, I'm like, I want to like grab it in and out of the car, kind of like a briefcase, and I miss this. For the bottle holders, they're like bottle holders / ball holders. They're pretty stretchy as well. There's one on each side. This one has 3 balls in it, and that's just about like exactly how it fits, and they won't fall out or anything. This is a 40-ounce Owala Sway, and it like fits in there super securely. So it can get pretty big, as you see. Other than that, you know, there is a paddle compartment. Typical for bags like this, 2 sleeves in there. And then the main compartment obviously isn't as big, but it like totally clamshells out. Oh, there's a shirt in there and some sleeves. But you can see there's organization on this side, organization on each side, and organization on this side with a little clear kind of waterproof pouch. And then another thing I appreciate, small things, but this is like smart design. This little kind of secret wallet passport pocket is right here, but being right here is perfect because if you have this backpack on, you ever like, you take off one strap and swing it around in front of you, you know, especially in the airport or something. So you throw off your left strap, you swing the bag in front of you, and this pocket is now right here. It just swings right in front of you. You can unzip, you can look directly in it, you can grab stuff in and out. So just the smartest place to put things like that. Little fence hook, just one fence hook, but I'm not a fence hanger anyway. Materials are the same as the previous ADV backpacks, which people say don't feel as premium, but I can tell you from experience, they like last forever, and I beat the crap out of my bags, and they basically look the same, and it's pretty water resistant. Like stands up totally on its own, and then this color looks kind of white on the website. When I was ordering, I was like a little bit hesitant because I was like, I don't know if I want a white bag. But in person, it's definitely more cream, more kind of sand colored. And then the accents are like kind of a very light mint green. So pretty fly, actually.
That's cool. Yeah.
So this is definitely going to be my travel bag. Like I'm about to travel tomorrow, and this is what I'll take. This will be my carry-on. And it'll also mostly be my main bag, which will make it easier for me. When I test prototypes, I'll have a whole blank bag that I can just throw 12 paddles into and take. Previously, it used to be like I had my main bag, and when it was time to test, I had to empty a lot of stuff out in order to fit 12 to 16 paddles in there. So now the Backpack V2 is going to be like relegated to paddle testing, and I don't know, maybe I'll use it at Worlds because we're going to be there for a week and carrying so much stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's really good. It's up to all the quality and that you expect from ADV, and like I said, the thing where I think they excel beyond the other brands is really intelligent design. Like just for practicality, usability, it's just every little bit is like, oh, there's a reason for exactly why this zipper is on this side in this place, and things along those lines. So really good bag. It's so, like I was telling Lewis on the podcast, he was like, how'd you get that? Because he doesn't have one. I was like, I bought it. So it's
I was going to ask you,
I had the
how much was that, Justin?
Yeah, it's it was like $200 with your code. So yeah, so it's not a cheap bag, it's a premium bag. But yeah, I had the other ADV bags, and I already knew coming from them that it was going to be quality. So I know that's a big spend, but it's something I'll use literally every day. At this point, I play pickleball almost every day, maybe 6 days a week. And with how much I've been traveling, I kind of wanted something smaller than my other backpack. So I was happy to buy it and support ADV in that way. And Lewis has a code. I used his code. So I can't remember how much it gets off, but code Pursuit, maybe
10%.
I think it's 10%, but
yeah,
it makes a difference on a big purchase like that.
Yeah, for sure. So quick question. Would you prefer that, the Ranger, or the V2 ADV bag? Which one would you...
Never tried the Ranger.
Oh, I thought you got the Ranger sent to you.
No, never tried it. Never
My
seen
bad.
it.
Okay, so
I think this
V2
is
or
roughly
that?
the same size as the Ranger.
Yeah, it looks about...
If I had to pick one bag forever, and that was the only bag I can have,
That's the only one you can have.
I would probably say the Backpack V2, because there are days when I'm testing and need 15 paddles.
Yeah.
However, that's not most people. I think for a majority of people, like, you'd be fine with this. I mean, it fits 3 paddles easily, extremely comfortable, like with their own little slots. But you could probably have 6 in here and still room for everything else. And if you wanted to really pack it to the gills, you could probably fit 9 in there.
Nice.
If you were like, I just want paddles at all cost. But who's carrying that many paddles? Maybe some ambassadors, things like that. But I think most people, you're probably carrying 3 or fewer paddles, in which case the Flex is really nice. Also, it's just really easy getting in and out of the car. It's just a regular backpack size. It looks nice. There is an all blacked out version too. There's a blue version now. And then there's the old versions, which are like, I say old, it's just the colorways they had in the other ones. Gray with like Volt or Lava as the accents.
Nice.
So.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to another bag. This one's from Ethos Pickleball. This is a collab that they did with Duravo, which is like a luxury... can you even see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. Let me move my mic out of the way for this. It's a luxury travel bag company, and they sent me this a couple weeks ago, and I was testing it out. And first of all, extremely nice quality. Reminds me a lot of like any of those like really nice luggage bags that you've seen on the internet. Very rugged, very durable, very premium feeling, and it has a lot of the same accessories that you would expect from a high quality bag. It's got the water bottle flap that stretches. Let's see if I can fit my wallet in there. I'm pretty sure I can. But also has 3 compartments.
You're on the Awala Sway now too. We have to thank Maddie Rutt for converting us to the Sway bottles. They are
well,
better.
This is my wife converted me to this, so sorry, Maddie.
The Sway, short. The one with the handle.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, it's Maddie
so these Duravo bags are, just before I go too far, it's $230, but I think it's $195 after code. So pretty good price for a very premium bag. You have 3 compartments. The main compartment has 2 sleeves, so you can fit 3, 4, probably 5 pickleball paddles in here if you want to. It's pretty roomy. The second not main compartment, you can fit has a couple of little slots in here that you can put balls or accessories, and then it has a smaller accessory pouch where you can, put your accessories. Has a couple pin slots, and then another zipper on the inside that's made out of mesh where you can put accessories as well. So a couple of good compartments. It also has that same luggage, I can't remember what you call that, the strap that you can slide it on. Yeah. And then I'm sure there's one more other thing. There's one more pocket on this side. Sorry, guys, this is not the best filming job for me. But yeah, it has another, just like what the ADV has, is that kind of small little pocket where you can just slide things in here.
Like a laptop sleeve? Oh.
Yeah. Yep, kind of like where you can put your passport, keys, wallet type thing. So overall, really nice bag. And then obviously it does have the laptop sleeve that you can access.
Got a little carbon fiber front.
Paddles. Yeah, I don't think it's. I mean, it looks like carbon fiber. Yeah, it's got the 3K weave to it. So, but yeah, overall, super nice bag. My only one small complaint: it doesn't have a dedicated shoe compartment. So if you put your shoe in here, it's going to take up quite a bit of space. That's my one gripe of this. But if you're someone who wears shoes to the court, or you don't want to put your shoes in your bag, it's a great option for you. And especially if you're looking for like not pickleball looking bag and more I guess everyday use, this is a good option as well. So really good overall quality. I was very impressed. It's very rugged, very rigid, not quite as rigid as the Kitchen original bag. That bag is like very structured, like it does not move at all. This one has a little bit of give to it, but enough structure to make it feel like it's got some rigidity to keep everything safe. So solid paddle. Ethos sent me that a couple weeks ago, and bag. Everything's a solid paddle when I talk about it. But yeah,
question for
Code
you.
Pursuit.
So, well, first off, I'll say smart of them, Ethos, like a smaller brand, to just collaborate with a brand who knows how to make bags.
Yeah.
Smart choice.
Yeah.
Second, or the thing I was going to ask you, question is, you're traveling across the country tomorrow. Is that your carry-on?
It's funny. I was thinking about it. It might be.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, I'll be taking this ADV as my carry-on, even though it may only have one paddle in it or no paddles. What?
Yeah. I don't need to put shoes in my bag for any reason. My usual go-to bag has been the ADV bag, which is a little big. It's a little tiny.
Yeah, you can't put that thing under the seat. It's got to go up top. I mean, you can, but it eats all of your foot space. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ADV Backpack V2 we're talking about, it'll fit under the seat, but it really eats up your foot space. So I always have to put it overhead, and then I just get everything out I want out of it, and then just put it in the overhead.
Yeah.
But
it's between
so
that
I'm
or
the smaller ADV.
The Ranger bag. I'll see once I pack tonight, but I'll probably go with that just because it's a little bit bigger than the Ranger bag, but not too big. So
we may have a follow-up because both of us are traveling, for multiple days across the country with potentially with these bags.
It's a nice bag. Like it's legit.
So.
All right. Well, let's move on. We've talked about bags quite a bit. I want to move very quickly. We're going to talk about some shoes. Just an update on the Franklin. I think they're, what are they? ADV or ACV? All court
ACV,
pivot?
yeah.
Yeah, ACV. I couldn't tell because the grips kind of wearing down just a little bit. But I've been wearing these a lot and really like them. Just wanted to kind of continue to give you guys updates. They are starting to wear down a little bit on their outsole, that's about typical for what I usually see from a 6-month outsole warranty shoe, which I don't think these have a 6-month outsole warranty. And the comfort is still amazing. The breathability still amazing. The overall fit and feel still really, really good. Just a great overall performing shoe. I like it a lot. Justin, you said it kind of reminds you of the Skechers in the sense that it has a lot of good strengths, but very similar, downfalls, if you will.
Viperport Pro 2.0s I'm talking about.
Yeah, which are great shoes, by the way. These, I feel like, are a little bit roomier, especially in the toe box. And then I felt like
they have more volume.
Just felt more structured, comfortable, and a little bit like more, gave you a little tiny bit more energy return. Which, really good shoe. I think they were 129.
So those are your main
before
shoes.
code. Those are my main shoes. That's what I'm wearing. The dad shoes. I need to buy
That's a
some
compliment.
cut off jeans and a belt and a polo shirt and start playing with
Some khaki cargo shorts.
Khaki car. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Straight
You
from
need to
cutting the
mow in
grass
those one time.
whooping your ass.
You know what I mean? Mowing them one time, get him grass stained green, and then
that's right.
keep wearing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I only wore them twice, by the way, and a couple people have asked me about them. They do feel like good shoes.
Yeah.
The reason why I made the comparison to the Skechers ViperCore Pro 2.0 is because they both like check most every box and seem pretty durable, and they're both very breathable and very just comfortable step-in comfort. I agree with you that it feels like the Franklins have a bit more structure. So, whereas the Skechers are just fabric, so you can kind of slide around in them a little bit more.
Yeah, they feel a little more
Franklins.
speedy than the Franklins.
Yeah, the Skechers definitely feel more speedy. The Franklins have a little bit more containment. Where I think they're similar, though, is they breathe really well. They're really comfortable step in. They're both pretty dang light, actually.
Yeah.
But they are also both, they're very smooth to like play and move in. But I actually think both of those shoes return basically no energy. So neither of them, I don't find either of them to be very snappy or like speedy or responsive. Now, let me clarify that I'm coming from like one of the stiffest and like snappiest shoes on the market. It has a giant carbon fiber piece that runs all the way from the side of the heel all the way into the forefoot.
Yeah.
So like maybe I'm spoiled by that. But I've come to really prefer shoes that have like a lot of snap and or a little stiffer actually. Like you have to give energy to them, but they definitely like give it back. So yeah, that's my thing with the Franklins. I'm like, yeah, these are comfortable. They're all right. They almost feel a touch casual compared to the high performing shoes that I like. I would have said the same for the Skechers. Super comfortable, but they almost feel like a touch casual. They're not like the highest of high performance. We talked about previously race car shoes that are performance at all cost. These are definitely not that.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good place to be for a pickleball shoe because a vast majority of the market is happy to trade off a little bit of performance for a good bit of comfort. And that's what I said about the Skechers too. And that's why I'm happy to recommend the Skechers, and even the Franklins to people because I think that's a fair trade-off. Just not one that I want to make personally. So
yeah.
But yeah, they seem good for a first shoe, like from a brand. They did a really good job, like a really good job. And I know they had an experienced designer
skeptical.
from other brands. Yeah, the guy who designed them came from other like larger shoe brands, so it makes sense. But yeah, you're super skeptical when you see a brand new shoe for the first time from a new brand. But I would say for their first shoe, they like knocked it out of the park. So yeah, kudos to Franklin for that.
Yep. I think they're 129. They are available now. Order a half size down. Now there's one of my friends, Gino, said he did order the half size down, but it was too small. So
really,
I think they're probably more closer to like a quarter size down. If it's like, if I'm being super accurate about it. So if you like your shoes fitting a little bit snug, go half size down. If you prefer having a little more room, you can probably stay true to size. It's just...
So I'll say my experience with them because I wear a 10 or a 10.5, depending on the brand. But I would say most court shoes, I go for a 10 because I prefer like a closer, like a 1-to-1 fit.
Yeah.
But some brands like Nike, I have to wear 10.5 because the 10 will just jam my toes. Adidas is the same way. Like Nike and Adidas are the ones that wear 10.5s. Basically everybody else I wear 10s. New Balance, Asics, Mizuno, Yonex, all this I wear 10s. Then these Franklins, which you ordered for me like a good pickleball wife, they just showed up and I looked at them. I was like, these are 9.5s, dude. So I thought you made a mistake or they made a mistake. And then I put them on and I was like, wow, these fit like all the other 10s I wear. Yeah. But I haven't worn a 9.5 in probably 25 years, by the way, in any shoe ever. So I was pretty shocked. So to me, I think it's very clearly you have to go a half size down.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. Don't just, give one. I'm sure as soon as you step in and try them on, you're able to return them in exchange for the correct size if they're too small for you. But their recommendation is half size down. Justin, you say yours is a half size down. Like I said, I'm totally good with half size down. It's just a little snugger than my typical size 11 shoe. So, yeah, really good shoes. Let's move on to an internal accessory, inserts, something Justin's very passionate about.
Shoe accessory. Well, yeah, I don't know what passionate about, but very experienced with. Yeah, passionate about feet. Yeah, I can't even argue. So look, I got a stack of insoles here, and these aren't even all the ones that I've tried, but I want to kind of go through the ones I think are relevant. These are Super Feet Run. It's not just any Super Feet. The regular Super Feets have like a very hard plastic case, it's very thick, but the Runs have a heel cut out. They have some flex grooves, and they're a little bit more flexy. These I actually have used for years, even before I got into pickleball. I used them in my basketball shoes, and they have like a hiking version. I use them in my hiking shoes. And so, honestly, very good. And the fabric here is like a little grippy, but it's also antimicrobial, as they say, or whatever. So, positive experience. This is a good one. All these that I'm about to talk about in this pile are like the same $50 to $65. So it's kind of like if you can catch one on sale. If you can catch these on sale, I would recommend them. Full price, maybe not, and I'll get into why. The next one, Move. These are the Move Game Days. They also have a Game Day Pro. The Move Game Day are more comparable to the other ones we'll talk about today. Things I like about these, this bottom section is grippier, so the insole itself stays put in your shoe a little bit better. It's the same sort of, firm and rigid arch support and heel cup, which is what's important about these, by the way. Supporting your arch and having a heel cup makes a ton of difference for specifically plantar fasciitis, which is something I've had in the past, but it also is just good for your foot support. So that's why you might want to wear one of these inserts. I like these, but I would choose the Super Feet over them, and I'll tell you why. The shape and the comfort feel almost identical, but this fabric is so slippery. Like on my socks, when I wear this, I slide around, and I was jamming my toes a lot in these. So these have been relegated to like casual shoe use only. Now I have this pair. This goes in one of my just like random shoes that I wear around. I don't play pickleball in these anymore. From there, I wanted to try the Curex ones. These are the Curex pickleball specific ones. And these are the ones that I actually have been through like 4 pair. I've been wearing these for a long time. And they have the same semi-rigid arch support. The heel cup isn't as rigid, but this foam is more rigid than it looks. This foam with the holes in it, and then they have the little puck here for more, and then the arch support's good. And the reason why I like these over the Super Feet really is one tiny thing, and that's these have little silicone grips on them. I don't know if you can see, but on either side right here, there are little squares, and then there's some in the heel. And that little bit of silicone grip actually keeps my foot from sliding around in the shoe. And that's huge for me because, like, I have a low volume foot. I don't have a narrow foot, but low volume means that it's not very tall. So a lot of shoes don't lock my foot down totally. So I'm able to slide forward and have broken toenails, bloody toes. Like, for years playing basketball, I used to just constantly break and re-break my toenails from sliding around. And I don't like the grippy socks like we talked about before because I feel like I can feel the grips. So having the grip on the insole is super nice. These are what I've been using for a long time until very recently they got dethroned. These have been recommended to me a few different times online, but these are Blumaka. I don't know how you'd say it. But this is like a full foam piece. There's no fabric at all. There is the same semi-rigid support. You might not be able to see it, but it's inside between 2 layers of foam. And then the heel is way more cushioned. And I'll tell you why I've chosen these. The arch support and heel cup is really the same across all these. If you have it, and it's good. But where these excel is, this foam is actually pretty grippy on its own. So now there's zero sliding. In fact, like you have to kind of unlace your shoes even looser than normal to get your foot in without it grabbing your sock and trying to like roll your sock up because it's very grippy.
Dang.
So, but once you're in, dude, and you're locked down, you are super locked down. Word of caution on these. This is the high cushion version. They make a high cushion and a low cushion version. The high cushion version is definitely higher in the heel. The heel stack is higher than any of these other ones. So if you don't have a shoe with really good heel lockdown or you don't like the feeling of your heel being a little bit higher, go for the low cushion. I personally don't mind. And I've been wearing the CG2s, which have great heel lockdown. So I get the ones with the high cushion. And dude, these have like transformed my shoes. It makes every single shoe that I've worn with them more comfortable and more performative. So like all around, these are awesome. Another bad thing about them is they're $65 freaking for this version. Now, some of the versions are a little cheaper.
$60 right now. I'm looking them up.
Yeah, they are pricey. I finally got them. Like I said, they've been recommended to me for a while. I finally got them on sale for like $40. I saw them on sale. They had been in my Amazon wish list for months. And then, I got the reminder that they went on sale, and I was like, all right, I'll try it. I didn't have high hopes, but I have been impressed. So these are the best ones I've tried so far, and this is what I'm going to keep using. And I'll probably even, get some more pairs, and then as I kind of downgrade my performance pairs, they'll go into my casual shoes. That's sort of what I do with these. They sort of rotate out. So another question, or a big point about these is they're very expensive. It's like, dang, you got to buy a new pair of shoes and then you got to buy $50 insoles. So I've been searching also and trying some different budget options, and I've tried two recently that I think are worth mentioning. One's called Soft Sole. It's on Amazon, and right now it's $15. Normally it's $25. Yeah, it's like actually a really good deal. But I find that they are not extremely performance feeling, but if you wanted to wear them in your walking shoes or just casual shoes, they're actually really good. And then the other one is this Val Sole, which I think is $35. And this is more along the lines of these performance ones. However, what I didn't like about them is they are pretty thick throughout, especially in the heel. And then this, great shape, great support for the arch here in the heel cup, but it is firm. So they might need to break in a little bit, but it is super firm. But these, I think, are awesome for walking shoes, casual shoes, and I don't know, man. It's going to be tough for me with the performance shoes. This is very, very stiff and also quite thick, but decent. So that's been my journey so far. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially if you like a little extra cushion in your shoe and you also hate sliding around in your shoe. Those are awesome. And they have, like I said, they have low arch, medium arch, high arch, and they also have low cushion and high cushion versions. So you can kind of mix and match to fit. I got the high cushion, medium arch support version this time, which is perfectly fine. Next time I'll get the high arch. I do have a high arch, but some of these
non-slip or the comfort.
The non-slip one. The comfort ones are just more for casual shoes.
Okay, gotcha. Just want to clarify. Cool.
Yeah, these are called Blumaca Connect, and then I got Max Cushion, which feels awesome. And like I said, next time I'd get high arch. The medium arch doesn't actually feel as high as some of these others, specifically the Move and Superfeet, which also has an arch height option. This is the medium arch, and the medium arch on these two feels higher than the Blumaca. So I'm going to try the high arch next time. Max Cushion, like I said, fine with me. But yeah, dude, these have been really good. Like, it's definitely going to be my go-to for sure. It's kind of made my shoes feel like even better. It's the first insole I've put in where I felt like it leveled up the shoes. I've always been putting in these insoles just for my own like foot health, so I don't have any plantar fasciitis pain and things like that. And they do help make my feet feel better after playing and make sure I don't have any pain. But I haven't felt like they leveled up the shoe until now. Now I'm like this. I'm like, whoa, this actually feels significantly different.
Might have to try them.
Pretty solid.
Well, sweet. Anything else on the insert front before we move on?
No, there's probably more to it, but I was trying to, go fast through it because we've been going through a bunch of stuff today. But yeah, if you guys have any questions in the comments about inserts or insoles, I'll try to answer them. Oh, I know you're going to ask this, or somebody will. Power Step is a big brand that is omitted from this list, and I have tried them. I don't love them. For my foot shape, the heel and arch shape on the Power Steps is just not my ideal. It's almost like the arch support is too near the heel rather than being, my arch is higher, more towards the ball of my foot. So Power Step, not for me. I tried the Power Step Bridge, which is ones that are more cushion oriented and have more flexible support. They were so thick that I felt like I would have to half size up every shoe I wanted to use them in, for me personally. So I returned those. So yeah, that's the omission here, Power Step. I know that they're highly recommended. I understand that a lot of people love them. They're not for me and my foot shape, but maybe for you.
All right. Good work, man. Inserts, a non-sexy thing to talk about, but man, solid stuff.
Feet.
Yeah. It is important, especially if you have low arches or you just have any feet pain. It's worth checking them out, or at the very least going to a orthopedic to get some more insight on what you should do.
You used to not wear inserts, right? And was I the one who converted you?
Yeah, you converted me, but with these Franklins, I haven't been wearing them.
Yeah, some shoes need them more than others, for sure.
Yeah. These they just have the typical, EVA foam, no support, no nothing. But I feel like they're pretty supportive shoes, at least for my use sake. All right, let's move on. We're going to skip net gains this week because it was going to be just a quick topic. Just don't go for too much on your fourths. That's really it. We can talk more about that next week.
Keep the ball in play.
Yeah, keep the ball in play. Don't just make them hit one more ball. We're going to move on to everyone's favorite segment, New Week, New Main, sponsored by Bodie Pickleball. So if you need grips, sleeves, if you need edge guard tape, if you need tungsten tape, tons of pickleball accessories, you can use code PURSUIT to save 15% at checkout at bodhiepickleball.com. So, Justin, it's a new week.
Honestly, you said it's everyone's favorite segment. It's going to become everyone's least favorite segment.
I'm about to carry this segment for us.
Before we get to the paddle, I want to say a Bodie thing, since it's the Bodie sponsor segment. You guys go look up Bodie on Instagram right now. They are running a paddle auction for a Zane Navratil tournament used and signed paddle. But it's not just for them to make money. All the proceeds go to Austin Pets Alive, which is a pet rescue in Austin. And as in the name, they're a no-kill shelter. And it's actually a really cool place. Like I've been there quite a few times, and just the vibe is cool, and it's a cool place. So they're raising money for Austin Pets Alive. So go check it out. Look up Bodie on Instagram or Zane on Instagram, and you'll see it. And you can also enter to win a Zane signed paddle if you're into that.
BODHI. Bodie. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
What's your main? Boring.
Boo.
J2FC Plus. Boo.
He's so boring.
Dude, you guys. All right. Look, I mean, it will be shocking if something comes in and takes this spot before Worlds, which is, for us, we're playing on November 5th. I'm just locked in, and I have zero complaints about this paddle. I don't like the looks of it, but whatever, I'm pretty locked in with it. Yeah, so...
Yeah, I mean, you wear those ugly
There's nothing really to
Viking
say.
gray shirts, so why do you care about?
I don't know that there's anything to even say about the FC Plus or any questions to answer about it, other than saying all the NF love is making people sleep on the FC Plus. It's better.
All right, let me carry this podcast. We went through quite the elongated, we'll call it the elongated showdown here. We had the clear and obvious favorite for New Main, which was the J6 NF. If for everybody who doesn't know, if you're a new viewer, I have been using the J2 NF very consistently for the last, 2 months? And loved it. Probably. So I wanted to switch to an elongated paddle just because I've been really liking the elongated shapes and just how I play with them. And this was the front runner. So I played with this. I played with the Luz Pro Cannon. I couldn't quite control the Bread and Butter Loco elongated, so I just put that one down. Played with the Luz Pro 4 Inferno, which is an MPP core, very hollow sounding, very unique feeling paddle. And then I got the Thrive Fury like the day before I went and played, and just brought this out just for fun, just to see how it stacked up. And this was my first one out, the Luz Pro 4 Inferno. That was the first one. I was like, nope, not playing with that. Eliminated. I played with the Luz Cannon. I was like, this paddle kicks ass, but it is very much like the Loco. It's like it has significant power and pop, so it's a little trickier to play with if you're not ultra dialed in. I can play with it, but it was one of those ones like, I don't want to have to worry about it. Don't have to think about it. It's your main. You shouldn't have to think about it. Played with the J6 NF, loved it. I was like, yep, this is a really good paddle. It's a little softer than all of those, which is nice. But I still have like enough feedback. And then I played with the Thrive Fury, played it with its stock, and I was like, damn, the Thrive Fury kicks ass. Kept playing with it, put some weight on there, and I was like, okay, this might be the main. And then I played back and forth with these, and shockingly, the new main, new week, is the Thrive Project Fury Elongated.
I did not see that coming. I gotta be
I
honest.
didn't either. I literally brought this just for fun, just to test it out. I was like, yep, let me just see how it plays against these, and then I'll pick, I'll do the main shootout. And played the first or second game with this, and I was like, oh, this paddle kicks ass. It gets crazy spin. Then switch back to the J6NF. I was like, hold on. I think I like that Thrive Fury a little better than this. Kept playing, with all of them, and then finally got to the back and forth situation with these two.
So what's the weight
J6NF.
setup?
Real quick, the main reason I chose this above the J6NF is just because the spin was a little bit better, and the power and pop and stiffness was more ideal for my preferences. And I have 3 grams of 1 gram per inch Bodhi tungsten tape, which is awesome. Just as you can tell, I just tore it. Didn't even use scissors.
That's the pro tuning tape, not
the pro tuning tape.
Pro tune tape.
Yeah,
Pro tune, I think is what it's called. Pro tune tape, not tungsten tape.
I have 3 grams starting at the equator of the paddle, basically going down. Just to give you a better reference, it's a little bit above the top corner. It's basically like right when the flat part of the bottom corner starts going up. And then I just have ran out of my Pro Tack Bodhi grip, so I just have the dry tack Bodhi grip on here, which served me well in the heat. But I definitely prefer the Pro Tack just a little bit more to the dry tack. So that's the setup, man. Pretty minimal and very impressed with this paddle. Going to play with this a lot more.
Glad you're here to carry this segment.
I'm here to carry.
I'm gonna have to start pretending. I'll start faking like I'm changing mains.
Yeah,
I guess, to be
I was
more
thinking
interesting.
about doing the J6 and FC Plus. Yeah,
no, the J6 ain't for me. I tried it.
yeah.
It's good,
But yeah, great paddle. J6NF could very easily be the main. Just for whatever reason, preferred the feel and the playability of the Thrive.
I'll say this, there are 3 paddles that hopefully should release before Black Friday that are going to definitely make a big run for me.
How do you know that?
I got connections, got my ways.
Okay.
I mean, and you may know some of them. I'll have to tell you off air, but yeah, there's 3 paddles I can think of where I was like, oh. Yeah.
Ooh, I haven't hit him, but I know one for sure. All right. Well, without, teasing our fans so much and, getting them real excited, we're going to move on to Nerdtown, baby. Choo choo.
Choo choo. This one will be quick.
Yeah, it'll be a quick one. We're just going to clarify some things.
Yeah. Hey, this reminds me of, for all the OGs out there, the titanium situation. Whenever
baby.
I just casually said, didn't think it was a big deal. Oh, hey, it's not real titanium. And then all of a sudden everyone in the comments called me a liar. And then I had some DMs from brand owners saying, yes, it is. And, anyway, went through that. And then it took us 3 episodes to make a clarification, get a bunch of responses, make another clarification, get a bunch of responses. So we're talking about tapered shapes again. I have this vapor right here, specifically because David from 11624 commented on last week's podcast, and it made some very great points. He made a very good comment. It was thoughtful. It was fair. He made some really good points, and so that's why I chose this one to be sort of the example. So first off, I just want to clarify, if you watched last week, last week's topic was specifically in response to comments from the week before that said tapered shapes have better sweet spots and the same stability. So, and I could have been more clear. This is my fault, but the whole point of Nerdtown last week was to address those 2 items, sweet spot and stability. That's why I tried to start by defining sweet spot and then defining stability, and then say, how do tapered shapes affect those 2 things? That was it. That was the whole point of it. It wasn't to talk about tapered shapes as a whole or people's preferences or all that. So that's where the clarification this week comes in, is I want to talk a little bit more nuanced about tapered shapes as a whole, and why some companies choose them, why some players prefer them, why do they exist at all, and and just to clarify, I'm not saying they should never exist, they should all go in the trash. That's not what I was trying to say. We were talking about those 2 specific things, which I do 100% stand by. a shape that is tapered, the bottom corners are thinner than the top corners, compared to the same exact shape, except for the sides are parallel and no taper, the one without the taper will have a better sweet spot. It will have better stability. Period. I'll stand by that. Anyway. But beyond those two things, there are other changes that happen to a paddle whenever you have wider corners at the top and you make narrower corners at the bottom. Another clarification, last week I said that the center of percussion is a measurable spot on the paddle, and that's usually what we refer to as a sweet spot because it's where it feels best to hit the ball. I said that tapering a hybrid shape would move the center of percussion up. So that's where people get when they say, oh, it's a higher sweet spot. And I mistakenly, this is my fault, I said, oh, maybe a quarter inch or less. Well, it is definitely less. I did the math after that. I ran the formulas, and on like a shape exactly like this that tapers from 7.75, this one's almost 7.8, down to 7.5, which is a pretty typical taper for a hybrid, the center of percussion does move up. It moves up 0.026 of an inch. So it's negligible. It's not like with the size of a pickleball paddle and how accurate you are, moving up 0.026 of an inch doesn't really matter. So the sweet spot is very technically moving up, but such a small amount that it doesn't make a difference. And just for fun, I went ahead and ran the formulas to see how much you would have to taper a paddle in order to move the sweet spot up a quarter inch, like I incorrectly said. And that's my bad. And in order to move the sweet spot up a quarter inch, which is just right like that, barely anything, you would have to taper from 7.75 to 6.4 inches in the bottom width. And I think everyone can agree, even the companies who make tapered paddles, that is not an ideal shape, except for maybe Slap. They make that Slap show paddle. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave them out of it, all right? Leave them out of it. But
which got
everyone else can agree.
Horrible reviews, by the way.
Hey, sweet spot's not great. Stability's not great.
What? Who would have thought? Real quick,
anyway,
before you move on, 0.026 inches is 0.6 millimeters. So
yeah, it's
barely
it's negligible.
A half of a millimeter. That's virtually unnoticeable.
Right,
no,
agree.
Let me say that is unnoticeable. There's no way you can tell.
To a human's hand hitting a pickleball, there are so many larger variables. Whether you hit the hole
100%.
on the ball or the hole, it's probably going to make a bigger difference on your shot. So again, that's just talking about sweet spot though. So let's go back and talk about the nuance of why someone would choose a tapered shape.
Which is what we are not saying. We were not saying that you are wrong if you prefer tapered hybrid shapes. We're just
saying you're wrong if you think they have a bigger sweet spot.
Yes.
Here's why you might choose a tapered paddle. The biggest one is that when you take mass away from the bottom corners, but not from the top, your weight distribution is higher up. It means you have a higher balance point stock on this paddle. So a lot of people do prefer higher balance points, me included, by the way. That's the reason why I didn't like the J2 regular shape. It was just the balance point was so low, and it just didn't have as much like whip as I liked. Then you come out with the J2 long handle, you move the balance point up significantly. I love that shape. So I can understand people preferring a higher balance point. And especially if you are a type of player who loves whippy shots, right? And let's just say you're a really advanced player, so you're really good at hitting the sweet spot, and you don't necessarily need more stability, then that's a trade-off that you'd be willing to make. You'd be like, hey, I like whippier paddles. I like higher balance points. I'm good. I don't need the biggest sweet spot available. So you might choose a tapered shape that would fit your preferences. Me personally, I'm bad at pickleball. So I need as big a sweet spot as possible. I need as much stability as possible. And if that means that the balance point's slightly lower, I'm okay with that. If I really need to, I'll add a touch of weight. You can honestly add 1 gram up near the top and raise the balance point the same or more than a tapered paddle. The other reasons people choose it is because it kind of looks cool. And this was the 6-0 thing. When they first came out with their hybrid shape, it's a very aesthetically pleasing shape to have a tapered, rounded shape. And people call it like an arrow curve. You're not really affecting aerodynamics at those speeds. But
yeah, I mean, it's like
so
pretty
so
obvious.
yeah. So those are
which shape do you think looks better?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, those are the two right off the top. It's like the balance point, the weight distribution being higher. Definitely people prefer that. And then the looks, which matters. It's pickleball. A lot of you guys are out there just having fun, casual. You're not trying to go pro. So how your paddle looks, how you feel on the court is one of the most important things, period. So that's valid. The other thing that people were commenting, we were saying, oh, non-tapered has a higher twist weight. And people were saying, hey, higher twist weights aren't strictly better because they're harder to twist. So people can find them less maneuverable on essentially flicks and rolls because there's a little bit of this action going on. Honestly, not much if you're doing it right. But I understand, and I even made that maneuverability rating formula a long time ago that I still use regularly. And the twist weight is a metric in there. And if you get too high on the twist weight, it hurts the maneuverability rating of a paddle. So I agree with you. A super high twist weight hurts the maneuverability of a paddle for sure, especially in fast hands, rolls, and flicks. However, I'm going to say that type of resistance to roll or twist doesn't really become detrimental till you're over like 7.5 twist weight. Me personally, I mean, I feel it, by the way. I prefer my paddles to be like 7.3-ish. Mm-hmm. That's like my idea. I don't want to go higher than that. So I'm with you. But is that truly the reason we're tapering hybrid shapes? Is because we're scared they're going to be too high on the twist weight? Even if you don't taper them, they're probably going to be 6.7 to 6.9. It's not like they're clunky.
Yeah.
So I don't know. While that is technically true, I don't know that that's a valid motivation to say I'm designing my entire shape and my entire lineup around lower twist weight. And then I've been holding this vapor because I just wanted to say, as an aside, and David did a great job with this shape, and all of his shapes he has designed intentionally, and I really appreciate that. And while this shape has a taper, it still has really great stability and really good twist weights compared to other hybrids. The reason for that, at least in my estimation, is because it's a little bit shorter and a little bit wider than most other hybrids on the market, and every 0.1 inch matters. So this is 0.1 inch wider.
1 inch, baby.
Yeah, then another hybrid shape, you get a big boost in stability and twist weight, So yeah, anyway, all that to say is I'm not trying to shit on the vapor shape. I think this is a good shape, and I understand the intention behind it. And just to clarify, we were talking about two very specific things last week, and hopefully we kind of dove into more of the nuance today. And if you choose a tapered shape because you prefer it for the higher balance or the lower twist weight if you're one of those rare people, or the aesthetics, good for you. I hope you love it. It's not going to be my choice. Unless I have no other choice, I will choose a non-tapered. Like I said, because I'm bad at pickleball and I value sweet spot and stability very highly. So anyway, that's
all
it.
Right. All right.
But productive conversation. Appreciate all the comments from everybody.
It's we stand by that they have better sweet spot stability. We do not say that you are wrong for preferring a tapered shape. So keep playing with your tapers if that's what you like. If you want something that's a little bit more stable and has a larger overall sweet spot, try something that doesn't. So anything else you want to add before we get off here, dude?
No, I think we're done. I think we can all agree we're done with this conversation.
No more
It was never meant to be
no more T-words.
a big deal.
Yeah.
And but seriously though, guys, really do appreciate all the engagement and comments, and it's been super productive. Even those of you who were disagreeing or pointing out things that 100%. I wasn't fair about. Last week, like I said, I wasn't fully nuanced. I didn't cover the whole conversation. So you're right to point those things out, and I'm happy to come back and address them and admit where I'm wrong on certain things. So it's been awesome, and that's it. Episode 3 of Tapered Shapes is done, and we're done.
We're out. All right. I think that's a good place to sign off. This is episode 58 of the PP Podcast. I'm your host, Lewis, here with my co-host, Justin from Pickleball, etc. If you have any questions, comments, topics you'd like for us to address in the next episode, feel free to shoot those in the comment section below. Probably going to be off next week, but hope to see you the week after. So, peace.